Hello, everyone. Um, I welcome you all today. Again, another episode of GenZ Marketing. I have uh, brought some guests previously, and today I have a special guest today with me, and I will introduce him in a minute. Before I start, this webinar is organized by GenZ Marketing, and we regularly every Friday um, bring individual guests from individual companies to support and let you know how you can grow your business as well as understand marketing, digital marketing, business development, and so on. So I'm Dr. Shah Siddiqui, your host, and I will bring our guest. And Hello, Michael. So Michael is from Uniflow. I just wanted to ask him to introduce yourself, Michael, to our audience, and we will have a great session today. Thank you very much for your time, and we appreciate your support and contribution, Michael.
Hi, thank you, Shaq, for introduction. My name is Michael Stan. I'm the founder of Uniflow. In Uniflow, we are trying to help people in as easy and the most secure way manage their finances. I have a little bit of over 10 years of financial experience, so I know a little bit about how to really manage the finances and plan for them. And so I believe that's what we are going to talk with Dr. Shah today.
Thank you very much, Michael. We are going to be talking more in detail to understand how we can check whether our business idea, makes sense financially. So when it's we understand and talk about finance, it's sometimes it's difficult uh, because as an innovator, we don't want it to lead into finance things. We just wanted to build, we just wanted to develop, we just wanted to construct. So
Yeah.
that is, I think, most of the innovator entrepreneur, their characteristics, because they are so devoted to their work that they forget about finance. And so it's a good thing that we have an expert with us, and we're going to be talking more about how we understand that our business is physically viable. We're going to be talking more and more in later of this webinar. Before I start, I just wanted to ask you one specific questions. Like, I understand, I know you better because we have been working for a long time. Can you share your struggles and downfalls with your business? Why you had that, and how you have overcome those things?
Yeah, of course. So let me give you some background first into why did I even got into the financial industry in the first place. Like probably around 15 years ago, I got invited, and I was lucky enough to be invited and trained as a financial advisor. So I've spent a little bit of time working on that. And then I managed to actually open my own business. But as a financial advisor, they didn't really teach me how to,
Probably around 15
you
years
know,
ago,
plan
I
my finances.
invited, and I was lucky enough to be invited and trained as a
I
financial
think I
advisor.
have.
So I've spent a little bit of time
Yeah.
think there is a
And then I
echo
managed to
happening.
actually open my own business. But
We do
as a financial
apologize for
advisor, they
the.
didn't really teach me how to, plan my.
So I think we had an echo feedback, but Michael, we are okay now.
Yeah. So getting to becoming a financial advisor, it was something that taught me how to sell financial products, but not really how to, you know, build my finances and how to really manage my business. But again, I did open my business after 5 years of becoming financial advisor. And unfortunately, after 2 years of 2.5 years of running that business, I had to close that down. And the pure reason of not being able to run that business, even though we achieved over 500K in yearly revenue, was my lack of financial skills in managing finance. business management. And so after that event, I got immensely in debt. I had to obviously close the business. I had to close actually two businesses because at that point I was running two different businesses. And all of that stuff, I didn't have the really basic knowledge about business finances that led to all of those events happening. And like I said, I end up in immense debt that I fortunately managed to get off at this point in time. But it was a 5-year journey that got me to the point where I am right now and starting to studying business finance, starting to studying more deeply how to really organize the finances and how to not end up in the same position that I was 5 years before that time, where I end up really on the streets of London without the roof of my over my head, because that's where I end up for. And yeah, it wasn't easy. And the only thing that it required from me before is to plan my business a little bit better, understand my finances a little bit better, and know exactly what can I afford and what can I not afford.
That's really fascinating, Michael. As you know that most of the time we say failure is the pillar of success, isn't it?
Well,
Uh,
yeah, I think people are saying that on the success you don't learn anything, right?
yes,
That's on the failures that you learn the
totally.
most. And in my scenario was exactly the same. Probably if I wouldn't fail then, I wouldn't learn as much about finances as I know now, and it wouldn't get me to the point where I am now.
Even now,
But obviously that's why we're doing that, so other people doesn't have to go and live on the street, for example, or don't have to go into debt. Because when you're building the business, that's what you starting getting into. Sometimes you
mhm.
working with different suppliers, then you need to pay on time. If you don't pay on time, you acquire debt, and all of that stuff are just multiply if you don't follow the financial rules, I would say. So
that's
yeah,
that's right, Michael. Because most of the innovators, they are working, they are slowpreneurs. Uh, they have to do everything by themselves. So with their work, if they get a professional help like you or like me or many other people, they support businesses to understand, because those people like you have seen the struggles, and then tailored your packages, tailored your business based on your failures, and came to this stage with a success. And I think our viewers will love to know more about how you become successful. And you have formed Uniflow, and we wanted to know a bit more about Uniflow, financial management, and other things. Why it is important to us, and how you can contribute to with your application uh, to our audience.
definitely. So based obviously on my previous experiences, I got into the world of business finance. So I become a accountant, I would say. I started working as a finance officer in different charities, different companies, and started learning really about all of the backgrounds. And so based on that, I really figure out that there is the software that we have right now available for business management is not really strictly for business owners. It's more for financial professionals, which is great because we can use, as a financial professional, I can say all of those softwares are amazing. But as a business owner, right now, I know a lot of entrepreneurs doesn't really understand finance. And there is no software right now on the market that allow those people to really, without big knowledge about business finances, understand it and really see how everything works. And so that's where one part of the Uniflow really was created, where we guide those people step by step in the free software through their business planning, business finance planning, and allowing them to understand what's important, what's not important, where they should focus first. and they are able to do it through Uniflow software.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's what we have, I would say, on the business side. We have also the other part, because I strongly believe that business owners are as well people. And if you can imagine, a lot of business owners, especially if you are a small business owner, you do not distinguish your business finances from your personal finances.
Mhm.
And so this is why we have also the second part of the table, where we created the application for individual finance planning.
Mhm.
Because for me, if your own finances are not, sorted, organized, how you can be responsible for the whole company finances, or how you can be responsible for your company itself if you cannot organize your own? In
Mhm.
certain point in time, you will start taking money from the business that maybe you shouldn't, because you would like to cover your individual expenses. And so that's why we have those two different platforms for financial planning, for financial management. So the business owners, entrepreneurs can actually take control of their lives and take control of their business and don't worry about the future. With our software, people can see, and businesses can actually see how much runway they
Mhm.
have, I would say, how much money they have, when they will run out of money. And again, all of that doesn't require any financial knowledge, doesn't require any financial skills, because the software guides people and business owners step by steps.
That is that is really fascinating, Michael, to talk to you and to work with you for last, I think, a few 4 or 5 months. We are working together
Yeah.
to get to a position, and now we are talking about it, and people will know about your software. So, to our viewers, if you wanted to contact Michael, please feel free to contact him through the social channel, through LinkedIn and other social media. He's very active in social media. And if you wanted to download his app. I think you can download it free. Yeah, and if you wanted to understand your finance, you can have a virtual or call with Michael, and he will be more than happy to guide you through to installing his software, as well as to guide you how you can become more stronger and make your point while you are an entrepreneur yourself, because we always don't want it to see our bank because we afraid uh, if there is enough fund for us to go through. So as an entrepreneur, we always struggle with finance. So we need someone like Michael who has been through his entire life, his past, and now he's supporting people and supporting businesses and individual like you to understand your finance and to understand is your business is worthwhile uh, to support you or you need a further support. Here we have Michael Stan from Uniflow, and I'm Dr. Shah Siddiqui. We're going to be talking more on business finance. So, Michael, I know that your financial management was done due to your struggles in your past. And how you have contributed to develop the tools, because when we think about versatileness of any application, we think is that all the tools that you implemented to your software, they are versatile, or they bring something new. How you make you unique to the market that are existing, and there are many other competitors.
I mean, that's a good question, because for me, what you can see at the market at the moment, whether it's solutions for um, businesses, or whether it's a solution for individuals, they're mainly the more advanced one are mainly focused on professionals who actually knows how to do their finances. They're passionate about it, and they are in that area. What I believe what we've managed to create it, is the softwares that doesn't require any financial skills.
Mhm.
but also softwares that doesn't store really any personal data of our users.
Mhm.
And so if you may think of different, whether it's an individual software, you go log in, they take all of your data, name, surname, Gmail, all of that personal data. We do not have any of that. We do not store any of the data. But I think what's the most important is that actually every single person, regardless of their education, regardless of their financial knowledge, can use this software very easily, because it's a step by step thing. And I did it because when I started my journey with finance, and I'm talking with business finance mainly, I was confused,
Mhm.
especially when, you know, I didn't understand everything. So I wanted to build something that will allow those people who don't understand financial jargons to understand it, because really finances are super simple if you think about this. You just They showed to us in the way so we don't really understand them.
Mhm.
So there is more people who, I guess, get paid for their profession, but the finance is really simple, and it should be allow more people to understand it. And so that was really one of the core missions of building both of those softwares, is to allow normal person who doesn't understand anything from the beginning to
Mhm.
just go use it and enjoy it. Because you know that's why a lot of people are getting into debt. That's why a lot of companies, I think the statistic says that over 53% of the companies just in the UK are closing down because of the bad financial management.
Mhm.
And I think on the individual side, we have that 93% of people between the age 24 and 35 are in debt. And I'm not talking about mortgage debt, which is sort of a better than the private one, but they have some kind of debt other than mortgage. 93% of those individuals. And so the software or the application that just allows you to save money and doesn't explain how the money works,
Mhm.
it's not enough anymore.
Mhm.
Or at least in my perspective, it wasn't enough, and it wasn't enough for me. And so that's why I wanted to really give people something that will allow them to see the future of their finances
Mhm.
even before they make any financial decisions. Because when you see the future before making the decision, you can actually change your mind, change your decision, and maybe avoid that, maybe avoid the future, um, of the business going down, like me in the past. Could I avoid it if I would have that software? Probably, if I would know, yeah.
Yeah, I understand that because when you have understanding of your finances and how much you're investing and how much you are earning, and based on your earning, you are investing. That's going to be a crucial, vital point, isn't it? So today we are discussing how you understand that your business is viable financially. So this is a nice phrase, isn't it? That to see how my business is financially viable. And do you support the businesses how they can check it? Will they check with through your innovation, the Uniflow, or is there any other way they can understand how their business is viable and go through with? They don't need to go through with a lot of struggles in future. So, what's the way our audience they can assess their business if that is viable or not?
I mean, I think the first step is to figure out whether the product or service the business has or want to provide to other people, whether they're actually able to sell it for the reasonable price, right?
Mhm.
Because if you at the end of the day, if you are not able to sell it for reasonable price, you have no business. If you don't have revenue, you just have a hobby that you can provide services, you can provide
Mhm.
products. But if you're not charging for them, or if the people doesn't want to pay that what you're charging for them, then you don't really have the business. So in terms of the validating the business idea, very simple thing is to just the do the simple thing that everyone can do is to just go and research the similar products that are there and whether the people are actually buying them. And if there is no similar product to what you are trying to sell, it means that you encounter the completely new market, and it
Mhm.
means that it will require a lot of energy into providing that product or service to the market and explaining that product or service to the people. And
Mhm.
so the first thing I would say is to whether people actually want it, and then just find out how many people you will find that will buy your product.
Mhm.
Then schedule or like establish the price for the certain services for the certain product. And obviously you can go through all of those steps using Uniflow software. That's what was built for, where you actually see, okay, I need to get to 10,000, I don't know, sales or product sales, or I need to provide 10,000 services to get to the certain threshold of my revenue. And then I need to calculate all of my expenses that will allow me to get and provide that service, and then get another expenses that allows me to really run my business. And so based on those three informations, really, whether it's
Mhm.
your sales, how much it's going to cost you to provide the sales, and then how much it's going to cost you to run the business itself, then you can really see how much money you will make month by month. You can do it on the piece of paper, but again, if you don't know how, it may be a little bit confusing. So that's why you
That's
can
the point the Uniflow is
yeah,
coming.
that's the
Okay.
thing. You can use it for free. It's completely free. You can go and see and check validity of your business. It's
Mhm.
probably gonna take you 15-20 minutes, not more, than to go through first 3-4 steps. And at the end of the day, if you are a founder or if you are an entrepreneur who's just starting, you will also get the um, how much value your business is worth. So how much you could sell it for to the investors. You could see whether you actually wanted to sell that much
Mhm.
of your business that you were thinking that you could sell for the certain validation. You can also check whether you actually need to raise the capital necessary or
Mhm.
whether you don't, because sometimes people think that they need the capital, but actually they can go without the capital for a long period of time
Mhm.
and do the same things. Like I was working last week with the customer who told me that they have that big order, but they weren't able really to execute on that order because they didn't have enough in stock.
Mhm.
And so they had to take a loan, but they needed the funding. Some people doesn't need that funding and doesn't even realize that they don't need the funding. So our software also, will show all of those steps. So it will show you whether you need capital, whether you don't need capital, and if you need capital, how much your business is worth, based on all of the assumptions that you are putting there in the future. And it's like I said, it's super easy, no skills required, 15-20 minutes. If you have any questions, we even have all of the explanations in the software, so you don't have to even reach out to me, but I'm open always, if you would like to. But all of the explanations are already in the software. So yeah, just go use it and check
I
them.
I understand, Michael. You are working for many years now to develop this software, and working with you, I understand the in depth of this software. So uh, I'm going to be asking you more questions related to the financial stability and as well as financial planning. So as I know that you have a core features that you can plan your financial planning for maybe years. How many years planning will your software support our audience if they wanted to utilize it,
Yeah.
um, and how they can achieve their success?
Well, that's the thing. In terms of the individual software, I don't think there is a large need for knowing whether you will have, 100,000 in 10 years. I think in terms of the individual software, individual personal finances, the most important is like next 12 months, maybe 24 months, whether you have like a wedding coming in, whether you have birthdays, Christmas, all of that stuff that people are forgetting to plan on.
Mhm.
So that's why in individual software we have 2 years ahead. So you can see how much money will you have at the end of the December 2025.
Oh,
In the business software, we allow you to see 4 years in the future at the moment, and soon it will be 5 years in the future. Because that's what really investors most of the time require. They require 4 or 5 years
mhm,
forecasting, 4 or 5 years financial models, and so that's why we decided to do that this period of time. And to be fair, it's really difficult to see, especially if you're like early stage, like if you're just starting or thinking about starting the business. It's really difficult to figure out whether in 4 or 5 years you're gonna have 100 million or like 10 million in revenue or just 1 million in revenue.
mhm,
So those later stages are more as an assumptions, but it's still really valuable for, as a business owner, it's still really valuable to see what's the potential of the certain business. It's still really valuable to see when you will actually need the money,
mhm.
and whether you, like I said before, whether you need that money. So that's why we've prepared it 4 years at the moment, but you can see your stage of the balances month by month for those 4 years. So you can actually adjust anything that you need to adjust in your business before actually making all of those expenses or making those decisions.
That's great, Michael. So to our viewers, whoever joined today, thank you very much for your time and contribution. And today we have Michael Stan from Uniflow, and I'm Dr. Shah Siddiqui, and you're watching GenZ Marketing uh, webinar. And every week we bring different guests with different perspectives, and we talk about business, we talk about marketing, we talk about PR, as well as business development. So anything related to business development, please feel free to contact me. Or if you want any financial assistance, please feel free to contact Michael. His software, Uniflow, will contribute more. If you wanted to engage, or if you wanted to download a free version of this, he has this software on the App Store in Android and iOS, and as well as web. So if you wanted to download the app, please feel free to contact his social media or Uniflow page. And we're going to be talking more on about financial management and how you can see that your business is viable. Because without seeing your business viability, we cannot plan. The core thing Michael was talking previously, that we have to have our financial strength before we go beyond our limits. So, in relation to the to your software and financial planning that you said that we can do 4 years and 5 years, how versatile is your tools? Can you how what benefits we will get by using your tools?
Yeah, as I said previously, there are, I think, 5, 6 main benefits for early stage people, maybe who are trying to get into it, into the business, but also to those who already started and are trying to pitch to the investors.
Mhm,
There are really 5, 6 different things that you can achieve with it.
mhm,
So first of all, and main thing I would say is that whether the certain business makes sense, right?
mhm,
So by checking whether all of those revenues that you think of, or maybe um, you didn't think of, and now you need to start thinking about those revenues, whether those revenues have enough margins, so
mhm,
you can actually make sure that they gonna cover the cost. Because at the end of the day, the business again needs to be profitable, right? One
mhm,
thing is to run the business and all the time pour the money into it, but at the end of the day, you want that business to generate revenue. That's why generate profits. That's why you, at the end of the day, are actually
mhm,
building that business, right? So first, I would say is that you can validate the business idea very quickly. um, the second one is, again, you can export Excel, you can export PDF with all of your assumptions and
Mhm.
present them to different investors, or maybe your friends and family who you're trying to pitch for money, or whoever you want to show it your assumptions, maybe just for yourself. Maybe you prefer, would you like to prefer them in the Excel? You can export it, or in PDF you can export them. So
Mhm.
if you would like to attract the investment, that's the second thing that you can do. Third, as I already said previously, to find out whether you actually required any money, because like I said, a lot of businesses doesn't require money right now, and they spending tremendous amount of time
Mhm.
on trying to find that money, whether they actually don't need it as much and they can grow without external investments. And so the third one I would say is to determine whether you need the extra cash injection, or whether you can be okay by yourself. Um, Fourth one, and this one is one of the most important one, is I think you can find it out whether your business will be profitable,
Mhm.
because a lot of people doesn't think of that at the beginning.
Mhm.
But like I said previously, business has to be profitable, so that we are able to show you whether your business makes sense, again, whether it is profitable and in what stage it will be profitable. um, Fifth or fourth, sorry, the cash flow.
Mhm.
Understanding of cash flow is one of the most important parts of managing business finances. Like, I think it's the most important part of managing business finances. And so a lot of people doesn't know how to build the cash flow models, how to really do all of that stuff,
Mhm.
which is completely understandable. What cash flow is? Um, well, the cash flow is really the flow of your money, flow from revenues to operational expenses, and it's really the flow of the money month by month or week by week, however you want to do it in the company. When I was working for the charity where we were managing 13 different sites, we were doing the cash flow on a weekly basis. So every week we were sitting with the finance manager and we were just checking out whether we have enough money to pay all of the people at the end of the week. And so we were doing that on the weekly basis, but the cash flow was for 3 months. So we could see 3 months ahead whether we have all of the money to pay all of those suppliers that are providing us services 3 months ahead. Over here with our software, you have 4 years ahead. It's a little bit more just because of that's what investors are expecting. But again, you can see the future before it happens. So I think managing cash flow in this is one of the most important um, features. Um, and then the last one I would say is to check at the end of the day how much your business is values. So if you run already the business, you
Mhm.
can go through the software, you can, put all of the numbers in there, and just at the end of the day find out at the end of the steps, you can find out how much your business is valued, whether it's valued 500,000, 100,000, 1 million, 2 million, 5 million. And there are different ways of evaluating the business.
Mhm.
As of now, as the software is just new, we have one business valuation model, but we will definitely introduce three main models that will allow you to even more precisely find out what is that valuation.
I understand, Michael. I think it is very important um, when you talk about money and when you talk about business, when you talk about future goal and strength. And in that scenario, as an entrepreneur, we always neglect our finance. We thought that okay, our idea will bring us millions of pounds, and we will become very famous. But with understanding of business and as well as working with entrepreneur and myself as an entrepreneur, I understood that you have to understand your finance. Without understanding your finance, you cannot go through, because you're saying that, okay, valuation. How many people do they know that how much their idea or why? They don't know. They don't know, because when you are asking for funding, grants, and other things, you need to say, okay, this is my idea, and my idea is for this much, maybe £100 or £100,000 or £100 million, because sometimes we say it's £1 million idea. uh, how do you know without a tools that, okay, our idea is worth million? So thank you very much, Michael, that, okay, your software, Uniflow, are capable of projections that, okay, how much do I need to run my business, is my idea is viable, and how much it will worth on that current state. To our audience, if you wanted to download Uniflow, you can find it to iOS and Android store. If you write Uniflow, you will find it, the software, and the registration process is very simple, and you can understand if your business is worthwhile, if your business is beneficial for you in future. We're going to be talking more to our next segments. We just got some questions here. I just wanted to show you the questions. um, so it's Mahabub, is insightful discussion. Okay, it's Mahabub, and we have another message from him. So you can see it's an important talking about cash flow, but what are the main challenges faced by the businesses that ultimately lead to its downfall? Michael, can you answer this question?
Well, I think depending whether it's a big business or just starting one, but I think in most case scenarios, the problem with the businesses is just running out of money, which is
Mhm,
again can be something that we can prevent
mhm,
before it happens just through proper cash flow management. Like I said previously, the cash flow management is the one most important tool in managing the business, because without finances you cannot run the business. Without knowing where you're going, you won't be able to run the business. And like myself, that was after 2.5 years of even generating 500K in the revenue. I didn't manage my cash flow at all. I didn't really know that that's what I supposed to do.
mhm,
I've learned all of that stuff after actually my both businesses failed, because what happened? I ran out of money.
mhm,
I ran out of money for paying my suppliers. I ran out of money to, run the normal business operations,
mhm,
and so I didn't have money to run my business anymore. And so that's why it's the most important part of running the business is the cash flow. And there is so many people who neglect that. It's just ridiculous.
mhm,
Sorry. It just, yeah, like a lot of small business owners doesn't really uh, like use such a easy tool like cash flow.
mhm,
And again, I'm working right now with one of the businesses who is generating tremendous amount of revenue
mhm,
through Amazon sales. But because of lack of cash flow management, because of lack of the money management in the business owner was really mainly focused on running the business, but didn't really focus on managing finances.
mhm,
He achieved a lot of revenues, and that's great. But right now he's forced really to sell his business because of an ability to pay all of the suppliers, an ability to further put money into the marketing and further grow the business. So the orders that he was getting, it's just dropped, and everything, because of the lack of that cash flow management, is just falling apart at the moment.
mhm. Yes, you know that when we devote it to our businesses, and business ideas, we don't think about cash flow. It's coming again and again, the core and crucial bits that we need to understand our cash flow and we need to manage our cash flow, because if we don't do it, we can't get it right. We will fall. And that's the true fact. And many businesses, as you said, that 45 plus 45,000 businesses, they will bust this year in the UK. And every year is similar. Why? The one thing, we don't understand our cash flow. We don't understand the valuation of our business, and we don't understand if our idea will add money in future. And all of those things is greatly needed, Michael. While we are working together, we understood a lot of different things and a lot of struggles. And you have to support your business with strategy. That we most of the time with GenZ Marketing, we prioritize strategy. We prioritize that, okay, before you think further, you have to have a proper strategy. You have to have a proper money management. You have to have a proper financial planning. Without that, you won't get the success you need. So, how vital for any businesses to utilize money management, and how they can utilize your software for their growth. Uh, how vital it is.
I mean, how vital it is. In my opinion, and obviously it would be weird if I would have different opinion, but the money management, whether it's a business or individual life, it should be the most important part of running your life
Hmm.
or running your business. Like, you can sell products, you can have good products, but again, if you're not managing your cash flows properly, if you're not careful about your expenses, and again, it matters for individuals like myself or businesses like Uniflow. If you're not managing or if you're not planning all of those finances by yourself,
Hmm.
and you're not planning it and you're not into it, it will put you into that. You put you into the struggle with your business. It's like, I can't stress enough how important for me was starting individual money management. Like, without being able to actually plan and see the future of my individual finances, I wasn't able to see where will I go out all of my debts, you know? And when I started building all of those financial planning stuff for myself, I've one day I just sat down in front of Excel and I'm like, wow, I can actually see that in 2 years' time I will be out of debt completely. And that knowledge
Hmm.
got me to the spot where I was like, I don't care about anything else right now. I just need to get to that point 2 years ahead from now,
Hmm.
and I will be free of debt. And I mean, I don't know, that worked for me. And based on that, I feel like a lot of people who are in debt, or a lot of businesses who are in debt and would like to get out of the debt, like seeing and managing their finances, planning their finances beforehand, can change completely drastically how they really see the whole picture of their business, how they really see the whole future of themselves.
Hmm.
And so that's why one of the main slogans of Uniflow is to take control of your life, because with financial planning, whether it's a business or individuals, you can take control of your life.
That's great, Michael. We have another questions. You can see. Uh, just wanted to know is from Shantanu Adib about your company, Uniflow. What are the long-term goals for Uniflow's innovation solutions, and how do you plan to expand their reach?
Yeah, thanks. Interesting question, because actually our long-term goals are a little bit different from only helping people in financial planning.
Hmm.
Financial planning for Uniflow is sort of a first stage, because I believe if you want to really truly take control of your life, whether you are a business owner or individual, whether you want to have that ownership of it, you need to, in my opinion, have two things.
Mhm.
First thing is obviously your finances. That's nice balloons, by the way. You need to have control of your finances, but that's what we already discussed, right?
Mhm.
That the finances is the core. We are living in the financial world right now. Um, Everything around us is about money.
Mhm.
So if you're not in control of your finances, you cannot be really in control of your life.
Mhm.
But there is a second part of our lives as an individuals or as a businesses that is extremely important, and people lots of times doesn't think about it. And that's where we are going to the future
Mhm.
is the data. So at the moment, all of our data management, sorry, I didn't say data management. At the moment, all of our data are stored by, Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, different banks, governments. And so our goal in the near future is to give people the technology through those applications, through that software, give them technology that will allow them to control their data rather than giving that data back to those companies and letting those companies make money out of our data. We want to give the people opportunity to actually take the ownership of the data, and if they want to sell it for money, they can sell it for money. If they want to keep it private, they can keep it private.
Mhm.
And and that's the future of really where we want to go. We want to make sure that all of the data is owned by people,
Mhm.
and the people knows how to really use that data.
Mhm.
Okay. And I think if you think of that data, if you think of money at this point in time in our world is data as well, because most of the
Mhm.
money right now is they're just numbers in some kind of bank,
Mhm.
or they're just numbers in the computer. So it is part of the data, and people doesn't think of that. So that's why we're starting from money management. That's why we're starting from financial management, so people can get part of that life sorted, and then we can give them the tools so they can take the second part of their life sorted with their data management. And once you start selling your data, you already know how to manage your data, because you already know how to manage your money.
I understand.
So yeah.
Is you know that we most of the time we say that your data is your net, your network is your net value, uh, and it's coming again and again and again because your data, uh, you can be financially rich if you can manage your data well, and dealing with your data specifically, owning your data will make you stronger and give you more strength. And that point people don't know, and I appreciate that the way you supporting innovators, you supporting entrepreneurs, you are supporting this idea that okay, your data is your data, your data is not everyone's data, and that is very important to know. So we have another just Dan Hyde said a very interesting insight and useful advice. Thank you, Dan. We appreciate your contribution today, and as well as listening and watching our podcast. We will have more events in near future with Michael Stan and talk about many different angles of financial stability as well as financial strength and how you can manage your data and how you know that your business is viable and it will make or produce money in future, because everything we do is related to our work and business to earn money, and where we wanted to earn money or we will get bankrupt, that's up to us, that's up to our financial
100%.
decision.
100%.
So we need to understand our finance very well, and if we don't understand our finance, we are in a problem. So to our viewers, today we have Michael Stan and I'm Dr. Shah Siddiqui. We are discussing if your business is viable. and you understand that it will support you in future. So if you have any question, please feel free to ask us through the comment box. We are nearly end of our session. Time flies very quick, and we have many of our LinkedIn connections are watching this webinar. If you wanted to contact Michael directly, he's a very nice person. I would say, because working with him, I felt that he's very polite, nice, and one thing
How
he
could you say
understands.
differently, Shah? How could you say differently? Come on.
He understood finance very well, because when I started my entrepreneur career, I did not understand finances. Even I struggle nowadays to understand finances, but with an expert like Michael, I can understand them better. And 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 that is the thing that I think most of the entrepreneur they need, most of the businesses they need, to understand their finances, to plan ahead for 4 years, to understand their true value of the business. And all of these things can be done just a single click with Uniflow. So, yes, Michael, you
I,
wanted to say?
I think the great example for everyone is like I mean, I'm pretty sure majority of the people knows what Shark Tank is in USA.
Mhm,
When in the TV, people are going to pitch their ideas of the businesses or like already established businesses,
mhm,
and how every single investor is always asking about numbers.
mhm,
And if the business owner doesn't know anything about numbers, doesn't know their numbers, there is no way that any kind of serious investor will think of them seriously, because in the business, numbers are the most important part. um, whether it's a beginning, whether it's later on,
mhm,
like, numbers are really everything. As far as you don't have unlimited amount of money,
mhm.
you need to manage your money, you need to know your money, you need to know your numbers.
I totally agree with you, Michael, because I've been through this stage, and I'm still trying to fund some of my activities, and it is the hard thing that you would ever do. It's numbers. Whenever you ask for someone to support you with finance, they will ask you, okay, how much in return I will get. It depends. It different and different when you have asking for grants and other things. It's a little bit easier. But if you wanted to have a venture VC to support you, if you wanted private equity firm to support you, you need to know 5 years, what you wanted to do, and how you wanted to earn money, and much you will earn money. They will spend every penny, and they want maybe 10 or 20 times more their
Return.
investment, isn't
Yeah,
it, in return?
exactly.
So money.
Today I've heard that even they're looking for 130 times of the investment.
Wow,
So
wow.
depending on the venture, but in terms of the grants, you
Yeah,
also need to know your numbers, you need to know where you're going.
yeah.
So it may be not for 4 years, but you need to know at least 2 years,
Mhm.
so you can show where you're going and for what do you need money for, because other way you're not gonna get or receive the grant, right?
No, 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 no. Because every place is an innovator will go with their ideas to ask for some money. They will ask to provide you financial information. They will ask to provide you what you have done so far. So all of those things are crucial for anyone. So to our viewers, today we have Michael Stan from Uniflow, and I'm Dr. Shah Siddiqui. You are watching today GenZ Marketing's if you business can fund you in future. And we're going to be talking more on business funding and others. We are just nearly end of our session. Michael will join me in various of other programs as well in next couple of months. So if you wanted to ask him any question, please feel free to ask him through the social media as well as LinkedIn, and you can contact him through Uniflow. And if you wanted to download the Uniflow application, please feel free to download it from the App Store. It is available on Android and iOS, both app stores. So feel free to utilize the power of Uniflow. With Uniflow software, you can do versatile work. and personal management as well as business management together. We are nearly end of our session, Michael. So at this point, if I wanted to ask you specifically, your platform in contributing in locally and globally as well. Uh, how important your software and how it is changing the positive shift in financial well-being of the people.
Well, I think, like we've spoken already, people who know their finances, they are able to, first of all, get out of debt, but also not got into that in the first place.
Hmm.
And in terms of the well-being, like i i I know, because I've, as a financial advisor, I've met probably around 500, 600 different people. I know how that, or how not knowing about, personal finances or business finances, how stressful it can be for the human mind. For we are just people, right?
Hmm.
And so if you don't have enough money to pay certain things, if you don't have enough money to grow the way you want, you get anxiety, you
Hmm.
get frustration, and you get all of kinds of emotions, because we are just humans. And so I feel like that personally worked for me. Once I actually was able to plan my finances properly, knew how much can I spend and how
Hmm.
much do I want to spend, whether it's in my business, whether it's in my individual life. Like, my mind went completely quiet. I stopped stressing.
Hmm.
And I feel like that kind of stuff can definitely help everyone to just relax a little bit,
Hmm.
because you don't have to guess whether you can, afford certain things, whether you can afford holidays, whether you can afford to pay that employee more money, whether you can afford to, buy extra equipment for your company. You don't have to guess anymore,
Hmm.
because you can, if you're planning all of that stuff, and if you know, there is no stress involved with it, right? The
Hmm.
other part, which is more difficult, is an execution
Hmm.
of all of those plans, obviously. But again, like for me, planning my business finances, my personal finances, give me that peace and quiet in my head, and I just don't stress. And when I don't stress, I have more energy to work with people, work with my partner at home, like just be more happy human being. So I think, as we are all rounded by money,
Hmm.
everyone is attached to the money, unfortunately, in some ways.
Hmm.
Like, control of your money is very important for well-being.
I understand.
In my opinion, I hope you're gonna agree with me, Shaq, because if
Yes, I
not,
do agree. Money. Sometimes some people say money is not wealth. Your health is your wealth. But in some situation, like the current situation, when inflation is up rocket high, and money matters. Every penny you save, every penny you spend with thinking that okay, if that's a clever investment that will support you in next few years because where there is a war, two wars happening, one in Middle East and one in Europe, and inflation and a
it's
lot of different things.
skyrocketing. Yeah.
It's we are scared of how our future going to be, and in that point, yes, we have to go through with a lot of different things, but particularly if we cannot manage our money, uh, there is a great problem. There is a great danger. So, to our viewers, thank you very, very much for you today and listening to our podcast and watching us talking about money. If you wanted to contact us directly, please feel free to contact Michael through LinkedIn as well as me through LinkedIn. And if you have any question, feel free to ask us. Probably we will plan something in future to include maybe a program to understand and talk you through the innovators to understand how much your business is worth and how you can plan your business. But that is down the line. But until then, if you wanted to ask Michael anything, please feel free to ask him. And thank you very much for your time. Next week, we'll bring another guest and talk to you more for business development, more on strategies, because strategies are the core thing for any business to grow. So, with our strategy, we will have business plan, we will have financial plan, we will have marketing plan, and a lot of different things, because without that your success going to be limited, and you will see your future if you have a right strategy. So we have Michael Stan, and thank you, Michael, today for your time. We're going to be ending this program very soon, and thank you to our audience. And Michael, if you wanted to add anything at the last minute.
Well, I think I already said quite a lot about finances.
Mhm,
I just would like to wish everyone, I guess, peace of mind.
mhm.
And I hope that none of you guys will go through the downfalls that I had to go through, because it was just hard. But again, sometimes you learn most of the stuff on your mistakes and on your downfalls, right? I wouldn't be where I am right now without losing my first two businesses, without knowing what I didn't know. Now I exactly know what I don't know, and so I just wish everyone the same thing.
Thank you, Michael. So, to our viewers, thank you very much for your time. And we are nearly end of our session. And I will welcome you next week with another guest and another business, and we talk about strategy. And until then, please stay tuned and continue to support our programs, and as well as support our audience and support our businesses. So, thank you, and I will say you bye bye and see you next week. Thank you. Bye.